He's not your everyday type prankster. I'm Ice-T, the original gangster.
That line from that song, oh man. I had to start the video that way because that's what I was just jamming to here. So I'm out camping, sitting by the creek listening to OG, Original Gangster by Ice-T. Well, it's on my, I have an SD card with a bunch of songs that play when I'm out, you know, traveling and whatnot, and I should probably update them, but the truth is when that song comes on, I turn it up, and that's not why I'm making this video, of course. It was just cracked me up right before I made the video that came on, and I'd made a video yesterday talking about rap, and how, maybe the day before, about rap and hip-hop and what happened to it. And I mentioned in there how some of Ice-T's lyrics are just so absurd and ridiculous, but on the other hand, he actually was a pretty damn good rapper, I must say. I'm not going to say that I enjoyed watching him as an actor, but as a rapper, perhaps. So we're looking out the window here at this creek, and it's about 8 a.m. here, out near Panther Creek by Mount Adams. And I actually did want to make a song. This video is about a particular song, but it's not like the main focus, I guess, but really how it made me feel. This song came on a little while ago, and it's called Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. Now, Dire Straits put out some phenomenal work back in the 80s and 70s, and mostly the 70s, late 70s, but by the 80s, they came out with that album, Money for Nothing on it, and I think people either liked the song or just hated it. It was one of those things where you either liked it or hated it. Now, I grew up and I was about, I don't know, I'm going to say I was about 9, 10 years old when that album came out. And my parents bought it for me for Christmas and put it in my brother and I's stockings. Or maybe it was just mine. But they were always trying to get us interested in new music. And I remember I got Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair was the album. And that never grew on me. Even today, I still can't listen to Tears for Fears. A couple songs. But Dire Straits was a different story, and I fell in love with that album. And that particular song, Brothers in Arms, is the title song from the album. It's at the very end, and it is so mellow, so slow and drawn out, but it makes me cry every time. And when it came on this time, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get emotional this time, because I didn't feel it, and then all of a sudden there it comes. And I have a reason for that beyond the song itself, because my father passed away when I was about 15, and he's the one who bought me that album, and he loved Dire Straits, him and my mom both. And so that song reminds me of him. The interesting coincidence is the song is Brothers in Arms. So as a kid, I always kind of thought of my brother and I, brothers, you know. As an adult, I realized, listening to the lyrics, that the song, of course, is about losing friends in war. And I think that, I don't know how much my dad listened to that song himself, but that song pretty much defines him and his experience with Vietnam, in my opinion. The idea that you feel like you're deserting your brothers in arms, and there's a particular line in that song that really choked me up, and it usually does. And it says, there's so many different worlds, so many different suns, but we have just one world, yet we live in different ones. And just the impact of that, it's the way I feel so much about humanity, and the idea that we have so many, there are so many worlds out there, and so many stars, and so much potential for life and interaction. But out here, all we know is ourselves and each other. And we're living on this small ball, floating through space, traveling through space. And we have no idea where we're from or where we're going, yet we're fighting amongst ourselves, fighting for control over land that really we don't even need much of the time. I mean, fighting over land that's considered holy land. Just all of the, you know, the whole of humanity, and the way that there's no other way it can really be at this time, because we're still learning. I don't expect people to tomorrow just change it, flip a switch and understand each other. It's a complicated thing, but I really do have hope. Maybe it's a pipe dream. Maybe it's a delusion. Maybe it's the old grass on greener on the other side syndrome. Or maybe I'm just a utopian, or have a utopian view. But I really don't think I do. I think that I believe that in a couple generations, if we give it time, you know, we could get away from war. We could get away from having to write songs about killing each other and people's entire lives ruined. When I think of war, I think of the soldiers themselves after the war. Not the war itself, not the ones that die in battle who get the awards, but the ones who come home and have to suffer with PTSD, and their families have to pay the price. Entire families are broken because of this, and those are the unsung heroes, you know. They called it shell shock in World War I. Now it's PTSD. It's just, yeah, anytime we go through a stressful disorder, we have a trauma because of it. And putting people into battle is just ludicrous, in my opinion. But it is what it is. We are where we are. Anyhow, there were a couple other things I wanted to mention, but I can't recall what they were. I'm sitting here staring at this stream. It's just so beautiful. And I'm sure I'll come up with something else and make another video pretty shortly. Maybe we can overcome our tendency to feel threatened by each other. And unfortunately, as long as we have hunger, and as long as we have inequality, we will likely have war. But I think that even with hunger taken care of and equality taken care of, it just seems like it's inescapable. I hope I'm wrong. Talk to y'all later.